Hello, my name is Liene and welcome to Vlogmas. I'm doing my November wrap-up, finally. I've had not so good last week, so I don't know how much I remember about those books that I've read in November, but I've read 8 of them. 3 were audiobooks, 1 was ebook, and 4 was regular books. So, let's just start with the first one. The first one I read was The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson, and that was for Believe It On. Don't know how to sit, so I'm comfortable. Well, The House with Chicken Legs was a book about a girl named Marinka, and her grandmother is Baba Yaga, and she helps the dead cross over, and she's teaching her granddaughter all the things to be the next Yaga. But Marinka doesn't want that. She just wants to be a normal kid, have friends and do whatever, but she's not allowed to. And yeah, what happens when she tries to do something that she's not allowed to? And it's a lovely book. I really enjoyed it. The story about accepting things and learning. I liked the house. The house was really interesting because I say she because house in Latvian is in like a woman, like the word is female. And she has the mind of its own. And that's really interesting. Yeah. So I definitely recommend reading that book. And there's gonna be, like most of the books are middle grade, because there was Believe It On last month and I participated in that one. I think only 2 books are not for Believe It On. Oops, my computer wants to eat electricity. So, the next book for Believe It On 2, that was Tunnel of Bones by Victoria Schwab. And I enjoyed this one. I listened to it, but I think I liked the first one better for some reason. It's about a girl who can see ghosts. She had a near-death experience. She almost died, so she now can see ghosts, and she can help them cross over. Like, they live in this world and there is this whale she can go through, and she can help like them go in peace, not to be stuck in between. And this time she is in Paris with her parents. Her parents have this TV show about ghosts. They're ghost hunters. One believes, and the other one like it's not so much, but they make this TV show. And yeah, this was a mess of an explanation. But this time they are in Paris and they encounter a poltergeist. The really naughty one. And she needs to deal with him before he destroys all Paris. Then the next book I read was The Secret Garden by Francis Hodgson Burnett. I read this Latvian edition. In Latvian it's called Noslēpumainais dārzs. And I couldn't remember if I read this one, and when I was reading I thought I have never read The Secret Garden, but according to Goodreads I have read it. I just couldn't remember anything. I knew the story, what it's about. But yeah, so let's hope I'm not gonna forget this time. But if you don't know, it's about a girl, Mary. She lives in India with her parents, and her parents die, and she is sent to England to live with her uncle. And he lives in this big house, and yeah, things happen. How she changes things around that house and makes friends, and she changes herself too. That's what I liked, that how she became a different person. Like she was this little mean kid. I felt like she was a little mean kid at the beginning, but by the end she's not anymore. So it's a lovely Christmas children's classic. It's not Christmas. So yeah, that's the third one. Then I read Children from the Noisy Village. I think the English title is by Astrid Lindgren, and in Latvian it's Trokšņiem bērni. It's a kid's book, of course, about these 6 kids that live in this tiny village where there is only 3 houses, and their adventures around the city, not city, just this little in their around their houses and in school. It's a lovely book, but I think it's written like in mid 90s, yeah, and it wouldn't work now. Like those kids just go on their own. They're 7 to 10 years old, and they spend most of the day alone doing whatever they want, going with a boat on a lake and going to the city, to the roadside, selling something, and it's dangerous. You wouldn't allow your kids do that nowadays, I think. But it's nevertheless lovely children's book. If you have a chance, read this one. So yeah, the next one I listened on the audio, and I read it for Believe-a-thon and for Buzzword Read-a-thon, and it was The One and Only Ivan by Kathleen Applegate. Catherine Applegate, yes. I listened to it, and it's from the point of view of a gorilla who lives in captivity in this circus kind of thing. And at the end of the book I found out that it's based on a real gorilla. But not all the characters in the story are real. Some of them are made up. And yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, something was missing for me. Yeah, it was moving story, but I think I don't like reading about animals in captivity. It's just, circus is not a good place for animals. And yeah, and what I think you can't really teach, especially wild animals, tricks without violence. And that is like thing here too, a bit. But in general it was like, I think kids might like it. So yeah, that's one. And then for Buzzword Readathon I read The One We Fell in Love With by Paige Toon. That's one of the non-children books for November, and it's about 3 sisters. They are triplets and they fell for the same guy, and how their lives, like that, how that made an impact on their relationship and lives in general. So I really enjoyed this one too. A bit heartbreaking, but a nice story about family and about sister relationships. Yeah. The next one was, what was the next one? Then I read 5 Feet Apart. It would fit for Buzzword Readathon since the buzzword was numbers, but I read it for Tribe Wizard-a-thon. But I failed that one. But it's a book about sick teenagers. They have, I don't remember what was the disease. They have like issues with their lungs. They don't work properly and then can't be like closer than 5 feet to each other because they both have the disease, and if they get something from the other, their chances of living are even less. So yeah, story about sick kids. I've seen the movie. Saw the movie before reading the book, but while I was reading the book, I couldn't really remember the movie. I guess I didn't watch it that long ago, but it apparently didn't like make that big of an impact on me, and I knew what's gonna happen, like because of the movie. Nothing surprised me at all. So yeah. And then the last book I read in November was Frostcart by Jamie Littler, and I barely finished this one. Technically, I finished it in December, but I refused to go to bed before I finish this one, because this was the grow book for Believeathon, and I really wanted to finish it. And this one is about a boy named Ash. He lives in this, you can call it a village, and his parents went missing, and he has a Yeti guardian. And one day he sings, so he gets banished because there are these evil things, leviathans, living around. Like, they don't get in the cities, but if you go out, they can attack you. And they sing, those beasts. And the people believe that if you are a song weaver and you sing, that those beasts can change your mind, like they can affect you by they singing. So Ash gets banished and he lives on a Frostcart, pathfinder sleigh that visited their city. What was it called? I don't remember. But yeah, and he decides that he gonna try to find his parents. What was bothering me while I was reading, there is this girl named, I can't remember her name, Luna. And when she's speaking, how it's written, it's like she's speaking with an accent or something, and the words are not written properly because of that, and that was bothering me. Yeah, that's like the only thing. But in general, I really enjoyed this book. I will read the sequel when it comes out, because I want to know what happens next with Ash. So yeah, that's book number 8. So that's it for my November wrap-up. It's not a lot. Oh, no, I can't say it's not a lot. It's a good amount of books, but I read that many because like 3 of them were audiobooks. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you read in November or what you're currently reading, and see you tomorrow. Bye.